Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Postmortems postponed after fire destroys administrative section of funeral home in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Family of 4 shot in Havana Heights, Clarendon. And later in sports, Reggae Boys defender released from Major League Soccer Club. I'm Anthony Lugg. Here are the details. We begin with the news that the Clarendon police are keeping a close watch on the community of Havana Heights after a family of 4 was shot last evening. The father was later pronounced dead in hospital. He has been identified as 44-year-old Mark Ricketts. His girlfriend and their 2 children, a 3-year-old boy and a 9-year-old girl, are being treated in hospital. The boy, who was shot in the head, is in serious condition. It's reported that the family arrived home sometime after 7 o'clock. Shortly after, explosions were heard. The Manchester police are this afternoon urging motorists to exercise more care on the road during this time of the year. The caution comes following 3 motor vehicle crashes in the parish over the last 24 hours. 2 persons have died. They have been identified as 19-year-old Asani McMorris of Porus, Manchester, and Tajani Amin, mayor of St. Elizabeth. Reports are that sometime after 11 Tuesday morning, Asani, who was the driver of a motor vehicle, collided in a trailer truck along the Spurtree Main Road. He was taken to hospital where he later died. Hours later, a man was hospitalized after he was hit by a speeding minibus which was overtaking a line of traffic along the Trinity Main Road in Porus. And in the third incident, Tajani Mir was reportedly hit by a truck which got out of control. He was rushed to hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. This brings to 36 the number of fatalities from 27 crashes in the parish since the start of the year. Last year, there were 20 fatalities from 17 crashes for the same period. Head of the traffic department at the Mandeville Police Station, Sergeant Florza Williams, is again appealing to motorists to observe the road signs. Postmortems at Archer's Funeral Home on Yonge Street, St. Catherine, have been postponed following a fire which destroyed the administrative section of the funeral establishment. Also destroyed in the fire was the Kidsville Early Childhood Center and the house.
It's understood that fire was seen coming from the area about 1 o'clock Wednesday morning. The Spanish Town Fire Station was then alerted.
Well, the fire was really severe, so we summoned help from Portmore and also Old Harbour, who came on the scene. And certainly the fire also spread to adjoining premises at 44 Hanover Street, where 4 bedroom dwelling house also caught fire. Well, certainly we came into action, and certainly it takes about an hour and a half to bring the fire under control.
Owner of the Archer's Funeral Home, Michael Archer, says some reconfiguration will have to be made before work can continue at his establishment.
Today is a busy day because, of course, we have postmortem. This morning supposed to start at 8:30. That is going to be a setback. The morgue is not destroyed, but however, the current that go to the morgue, the electricity that go to the morgue, we definitely want to sort that out properly before we go back into morgue operation. That might take us a day or 2, the longest, to sort out. Well, I wouldn't say much. Yes, it's going to be a setback because those bodies would have to redo another day, right? But not great of a backlog.
In the meantime, students and teachers at the Kidsville Early Childhood Center have been left at a great disadvantage as devices used for online teaching were destroyed in the fire. A teacher at the institution, Beverly Johnson, says thousands of dollars have also gone up in flames as the school was recently upgraded.
We do some addition. We had the bathroom, we separate. Everything was intact to meet January morning. Some of the children them use online. It left here until weekends. So that is gone as well.
That's computer tablet?
Yes, everything is gone, completely gone. Because parents is aware that the children them play games, so them leave it here. So it is gone. Big loss.
There were 16 students enrolled at the school. And just like the school, nothing was saved for this family.
I was in the room and sleeping, and I just feel I start suffocating, and I opened my eyes. When I opened my eyes, I start to shake my friend. I now get her, I'm just lift her up and run outside. I'm see be a fire.
Did you manage to save anything?
No, my phone got burned up. My stuff, my friends, baby document them and so forth.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
The Melrose Yam Park in Manchester has been given the green light to resume operations months after it was ordered closed by the health department. The facility was closed in August for corrective measures to be taken to address several health-related and infrastructural issues. Vendors will now be allowed to operate under special conditions. Mayor of Mandeville Donovan Mitchell says a robust maintenance program will be undertaken to prevent a recurrence of the issues that led to the closure of the Yam Park.
Yes, we spent $5.6 million putting the Melrose Yam Park back into operation. We intend to keep that place just as it is and even better, because the promise is that when you get there, like we want to do with Brooks Park, it is a place for your family.
Mayor Mitchell also noted that the Christiana Abattoir, which was closed for almost 2 years, was reopened after a $2.6 million upgrade of the facility. And it's now time for a break, but stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News and thanks for staying with us. Despite the challenge of limited resources, the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, will not see any additional garbage trucks until this time next year. More in this report. Garbage piles and illegal dumps on roadways across the island. It's a recurring eyesore for residents.
And you can't have a garbage come this week, and next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you don't see him come. The place is a mess.
Truck need to come look more often, look more even 3 days a week or 2 days a week, you know, say.
When the people them come up a morning time and them vehicle and throw the rubbish, them just stop and just straight stuff.
NSWMA Executive Director Audley Gordon has repeatedly listed shortage of resources such as garbage trucks as a hindrance. A financial allocation for 100 new trucks in 2019 was redirected because of the COVID-19 pandemic. He gave an update during a garbage collection operation early Tuesday morning on Malines Road in St. Andrew.
The thing is back on the agenda, and the minister in his last communication with us is assured us that we will get the truck, and we believe him, and we are just hoping and praying that nothing worse happens in terms of the pandemic to force the government in other directions. But all things considered, we should get the approval in the next budget speech that the Minister of Finance will make.
The budget presentation should be in early 2022, but even then, there's a long process before the trucks can be delivered, starting with the procurement exercise.
It will take about 2 months to complete, or 3 months to complete the procurement process. Again, I say, truck is not shelf item, so we have to then have an order made. That will require some manufacturing time, 90 to 120 days. And we have some shipping time that you have to throw into that too. So we could see the trucks by back end of 2022, talking about November. By this time next year, we should be talking trucks.
However, in addition to the resource challenge, he again pointed to illegal dumps on sidewalks and littering in almost every town center and community.
We cannot just discard it at will and then say, oh, the government must enforce. However, enforcement is a natural part of the conversation, and we are enforcing. We are writing close to 400 tickets per month for littering issues. The fines, though, are woefully inadequate.
He reiterated his call for higher fines and longer prison terms for breaches of the anti-litter laws. More than 16,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccines are set to expire at the end of the month. But despite the short shelf life for the medicine, people are still being turned away from vaccination sites. Sandy Williams reports.
On Monday, Jamaica began administering booster shots to certain members of the population. The Ministry of Health is in a race against time, as 16 days from today, approximately 16,500 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine will expire. But despite the nearing expiration date, only certain people can take the shot at this time, including adults 60 years and older, healthcare workers, and people 18 years and older who have received a single dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Director of Family Health Services in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Melody Ennis, says the decision was guided by science.
The vast majority of persons in country receive the AstraZeneca vaccine, and AstraZeneca is not at this time recommending that AstraZeneca be used as a booster shot. We also look at the epidemiology of what is happening in country. We look at the availability of the vaccines, and we look at persons who are more at risk of a challenge with COVID. And based on all of that, or those analyses, then the decision is to vaccinate persons 60 years and over, as well as healthcare workers.
Citizens have also complained about being turned away at some vaccination sites. The concern was raised on Power 106's Morning Agenda program Wednesday morning.
Why are we turning back individuals if they arrive before the site is actually closed?
I am unaware of that specific situation that you mentioned. I most certainly will check on it. I will need to get the details as to if that really occurred, why, what was the reason behind such a directive. Again, we do ask persons to timely come out to the site. If you arrive at 10 minutes to 4 and we close at 4, then you should be facilitated.
Meanwhile, Dr. Ennis says preliminary data show that more than 500 people so far have received their booster shots in 2 regions.
I have not disaggregated the data, but when I look at the few sites that they managed to send me, clippings that they were just seeing the numbers, it appeared to be a lot of older persons. And we are also grateful because we know that our citizens over the age of 60 are more vulnerable and at risk with COVID-19.
Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
3 more Jamaicans have died from COVID-19, bringing the overall death toll to 2,432. Meanwhile, 25 new COVID-19 cases were recorded yesterday from 1,843 test samples. The overall case count is 91,868. The COVID-19 positivity rate is now 3.3%. 104 people have been hospitalized with the virus. 14 of those admitted are severely ill, while another 2 are in critical condition. The overall active number of cases now stands at 4,682. In the meantime, 28 more Jamaicans have recovered from the virus, bringing the total recoveries to 63,595. And it's now time for the Business Minute. Here's O'Shane Masters.
Total spending on imports and earnings from exports increased between January and August compared to the corresponding period in 2020. The Statistical Institute of Jamaica Statin says imports amounted to $3.7 billion. This was 19% higher than the $3.1 billion reported last year. Total exports were valued at $1.1 billion versus $824 million earned during the corresponding period in 2020. U.S. lawmakers have voted to raise the national debt limit just days before potential U.S. credit default. The measure, which President Joe Biden is expected to sign into law in the coming days, raises the U.S. borrowing limit by $2.5 trillion or £1.9 trillion. Treasury officials had warned that the economy could slip into recession if it was not raised by mid-December. The vote comes after a bipartisan deal was struck last week to raise the limit through a one-time only rule change. That agreement, which was struck between Senate Democratic Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Republican Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, saw 14 Republicans vote along with every Senate Democrat to change the rules. The deal allows Democrats to raise the limit on their own through a simple majority rather than by 60 votes. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm O'Shane Masters.
And here's a preview of what's coming up in this evening's health report.
In this evening's health report, we look at computer vision syndrome or digital eye strain.
There's also something called an axis lens. There are some people, let's say if you're over 40 and you have to spend a long amount of time in front of the computer, there's an axis lens that is geared up for focusing on the computer. So it's actually near vision. And that is what a lot of patients have tried, and it's actually worked quite well.
That's the health report in Primetime News at 7. And now for today's Healthy Living tip. Limit your screen time. Choose physical over digital. Move as much as possible. And take tech-free breaks.
And with the top of regional and international stories, here's Sandy Williams.
In regional news, police on Monday confirmed that they were investigating the discovery of a boat with 7 bodies in a decomposed state on Sunday. In a brief statement, the police said that officers assigned to the Northern Division responded to a report of a drifting vessel in the vicinity of Gunpoint, Carriacou. The police said 7 adult male bodies were discovered in a decomposed state on the boat, adding that specialized units of the force are presently analyzing personal effects and devices found on board the vessel, following which a comprehensive update will be provided. Media reports suggest that the vessel could have originated in Guyana, where there were reports of a group of men missing since September. On the international scene, in Africa, Ghana has said it will fine airlines $3,500 for each passenger who arrives in the capital's international airport without being fully vaccinated against COVID-19. The new penalties come a day after the country began requiring all passengers over the age of 18 to provide evidence of full vaccination against COVID-19, saying that about 60% of the total new cases recorded in the country had come from the airport during a recent 2-week period. Meanwhile, Ghanaians who fly in without meeting the requirement will be allowed to enter the country and undergo a 14-day quarantine. Foreigners may be refused entry. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Sandy Williams.
And we head now to a quick break. When we return, Simon Preston will have your midday sports report.
Welcome back. It's now time for Midday Sports. I'm Simon Preston. Reggae Boys defender Alvis Powell has been released from Major League Soccer side of the Philadelphia Union. The 27-year-old made only 7 appearances for the Union this season after joining from Sudanese club Al Hilal in the summer. Powell will now be searching for the 8th club of his career after previously playing for Portmore United, Portland Timbers, Sacramento Republic, FC Cincinnati, Inter Miami, Al Hilal and the Union. Countrymen Andre Blake and Corey Burke have deals with the Union for the 2022 season. Powell has 53 appearances for the Reggae Boys since his debut in 2012. 2018 winners Kingston College will battle Kingston Technical in Group 2 quarter-final round action of the Issa Manning Cup this afternoon. KC are at the top of the table on 3 points, while Kingston Technical are third without a point. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock. At 3:15, Excelsior High will face Charlie Smith. And that is it for your Midday Sports Report. I'm Simon Preston. Anthony, it's over to you.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Anthony Lugg. Join us at 7 for Primetime News. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.